What toxic family tradition did you break that cost you everything? In my family, the men had one job: join the police force, marry a good girl, and never show weakness. For generations, every man wore the badge, and every man brought the job's violence home. My grandfather's favorite saying was, "There are two types of people, cops and criminals. Everyone else is just waiting to become one or the other." At family barbecues, I watched my dad, uncles, and male cousins compare arrest stories while their wives served food silently. The women had bruises they covered with makeup and long sleeves, even in summer. After dinner, the men would gather in the yard, cleaning their service weapons and talking about putting people in their place. The women would whisper in the kitchen about which neighborhoods to avoid when their husbands had been drinking. When I graduated high school, my father presented me with my great-grandfather's police academy application. He'd already filled it out with my information. My uncle Mike, the police captain, slapped my back and said he'd fast-track me through training. "Time to become a real man," he laughed, while my three cousins, all officers, nodded approvingly. That night, my mother slipped into my room with an envelope. Inside was $200 and a bus ticket. "Please don't become like them," she whispered. Her left eye was still swollen from last week. When Dad found out she'd spoken to a divorce lawyer, I waited until 3 a.m. when Dad finally passed out from whiskey. As I crept downstairs with my duffel bag, my 16-year-old brother Ethan appeared from the shadows. "You're really doing it?" he asked. His voice cracked. Last month, Dad had started taking him on ride-alongs, teaching him to spot the troublemakers. I hesitated. Taking him would mean twice the risk, but I remembered how Dad had made Ethan hold down a suspect while he taught him respect. We left before dawn. I had $3,800 saved from my secret job at the library the next town over. We took a bus to my online friend Marcus's city 5 states away. He let us crash in his garage apartment while I found work at a community center. Ethan enrolled in public school, his first time experiencing education without constant talk of the thin blue line. For 8 months, we built something real. I took night classes in social work. Ethan joined the school theater program and discovered he loved acting. Then one evening, I came home to find police cruisers outside our apartment, not local cops. My father and 2 uncles in their department vehicles, having tracked us through Ethan's social media account we didn't know existed. Ethan was backed against the wall, my father's hand around his throat. "Corrupting your brother with this liberal garbage," he spat at me. When my uncle reached for his taser, I grabbed the fire extinguisher from the wall and unleashed it in their faces. In the chaos, I pulled Ethan free and we ran. We spent that night in a homeless shelter, then moved across the country. I worked construction while finishing my social work degree. Ethan graduated high school and got into a theater program at UCLA. The family found us once more, this time with warrants for assaulting officers. We changed our names and moved again. Now I'm 29, running a youth outreach program for at-risk teens, and Ethan's acting in indie films. We haven't spoken to our family in 7 years. Sometimes I see my father's face on police brutality forums, still on the force, still hurting people, but we broke the cycle, and despite losing everything we knew, we found something better: ourselves.